But should we buy? Should we buy? Guys, to be very, very, very clear.
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. We've got a wonderful interview lined up today with one of my favorite people in the space, because he's, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, even if he has a massive amount of Bitcoin hacked from him, he comes with a positive message. He comes with a positive sentiment. He lets you know what the strategies are so that you can dominate the markets like he has. He's been in for a long time. So everybody, stick with us here, because we're going to be breaking down a lot of things having to do with mindset, what's going on with the charts, long-term vision, and how much more important long-term vision is rather than trying to catch every single move in the chart. So without any further ado, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for being here with us on a Saturday. Thank you for being watching this Alpha series here on BitLab Academy. Mr. Didi Taihuttu, how are you doing? Thank you for being here with us.
Hey, Kellam, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me to the BitLab Academy. Awesome, man. I'm doing amazing. It's we are in the bull market. I know that some people still feel that we are in the bear market because of the volatility, but this is the most beautiful part we just had in the Bitcoin TA time frame, bearish. You buy up everything again, and now you can start to enjoy that whole bull run again. So I'm doing amazing. The family is doing amazing. At the moment in Portugal, soon traveling to Singapore for token 2049, and to watch the Formula One, and then to Thailand. So couldn't be better.
Well, you and I have had the opportunity to speak a number of times, both on Twitter Spaces, on podcasts, and you even were a guest here on BitLab Academy a few months back. And if anybody doesn't know who you are, that's okay, because we can't all know everybody, right? But just as a brief sort of introduction to who you are in the space, and the fact that you just mentioned, and you had to mention, we're in Portugal now. You move around, you travel, and you live as the Bitcoin family. You live primarily almost extensively and exclusively on the principles of decentralized finance, on Bitcoin, outside of the banking system. How long have you been in the digital asset ecosystem? What got you there? And is it truly possible to live outside of the fiat system?
Yeah, very good question, man. I started Bitcoin mining in 2013. At that moment, still miners in my company that I was running at that time. And that's when I started mining. And from mining Bitcoin in 2014, we had this huge crash to $200. At that moment, we considered that as a crash from 12 to 200. I started to mine Dogecoin, which at that moment was one of the most popular meme coins. And from mining Bitcoin, I came into some difficulties in life. My mother died, my father died. And then somewhere in 2016, I needed to have a reset. So I started traveling the world with my family. And in 2017, we decided, let's go home, sell the house, sell the company, sell everything we own, and just go all into Bitcoin, and then just support this peaceful, anarchistic revolution of the new monetary system. And that's what we did. And then from that moment, we were all in Bitcoin. 3 months later, we didn't have bank accounts anymore. And the last 7 years now, we've been traveling through 42 countries as the Bitcoin family all over the world, slowly living with cryptocurrency, and by now also some debit cards, the Bitcoin debit cards, you all know them. We've been traveling a lot, doing a lot, documentaries, doing my YouTube videos every day. At the moment, we were filmed for 3 years by the biggest streaming platform of the world, which is going to go live exactly near the halving, but we will talk about that a little bit later. But that's a short introduction of who I am. Aside of the whole Bitcoin family, I'm an investor, I'm a trader. I'm a visionary when it comes to looking what is happening in the space, macroeconomical ways and all that stuff, man. Just living the Bitcoin lives 24/7, breathing Bitcoin in and out every day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And before we continue on, I just want to show everybody, if you haven't yet, if you want to follow him, you can follow him here at Didi Taihuttu. You can see it here on the screen. He shares so much stuff. He's got a YouTube channel, puts out daily content, as well as the bitcoinfamily.com to get more information. We're going to continue on here. To start this out, we're going to be talking about some ideas, some concepts, some important things that impact how people are engaging with the space, and more importantly, what things are truly impacting the supply-demand dynamic, which is ultimately one of the most important factors of understanding when you're investing and trading. So for somebody that's new in the space and people that have maybe been in through one cycle or a cycle and a half and are still finding trouble, what would you say are two of the most important things to consider, especially when trying to this idea that people struggle with trying to catch up to other people that have made a lot of money, so they trade on extensive amounts of leverage without skills, without strategy, without risk management? How do you what would you say to people, like to give them a little bit of an initial starting guideline and if they're already down the path, to bring them back in to help them get on the path to success? Is it trade, try to find every bottom, try to sell at every top? Is it long-term viewpoint? What would you say?
Yeah, it's not that simple. That I started very early. At that moment, it was very simple to earn a lot of Bitcoins because the competition wasn't that professional. You were to become a trader in those periods of time, like 2014 to 16, 17. You were really trading against other noobs, other beginning trading people that want to, trade cryptocurrency. By now, we are trading a little bit more professional, and you're trading against institutions and institutional investors. So I think when people when people see all the YouTubers that are showing off their Lamborghinis and their Bentleys and their kick-ass, big-ass houses, people need to understand that it took them all 4 years to reach that. And it were the 4 years in the completely beginning of Bitcoin, where probably the income of affiliate marketing was more than the income of trading. So people stare themselves blind on this, and I don't think people should do that. If you want to be a trader, you need to ask yourself, do I even have the time to be a trader? If you have a full-time job, yeah, forget it. You won't be able to trade. That would be saying, today I will start to play football, and tomorrow I'm going to play against Messi, and I'm going to win. You will not play and win against Messi because the guy plays already football for his whole life.
I got to pause you there because that's such a great analogy, and we've talked about it before, and I've talked about it with other analysts and other investors in the space, and especially with Bitcoin, but any asset that's tradable. Bitcoin and digital assets are bringing in so many new people to the markets. And I mean markets broadly, people that have never invested or traded in their lives. And they get in and they watch a couple of YouTube, whether it's here at BitLab Academy or the Bitcoin family or Crypto Face or, Frankie Candles, or it doesn't matter the channel out there. And they think that because they buy an indicator or because they take a course or because they made 3 trades that, all of a sudden that they are a trader. And they forget to realize, as you said, the second you enter the market, it's not like anything else in the world. You have direct access to compete with not only the world's best at doing it, people with much larger pockets, with much longer vision, as well as some of the best AI trading bots, algorithms. And you're entering that field the second you do your first trade. And so how does one that's starting, or you've been here for 5 years, how do you contend with that when you're getting in? How do you manage risk in that environment so you don't get eaten alive?
Yeah, so for me, it's already when I coach people into this industry, I always ask the question: do you really want to be a trader? Do you really want to be stuck behind the screen and trade every day? Do you have the time for this? If not, first get to know this market. Now, how do you get to know the market? To play the bigger time frame. Look at the swing trading, for example, or just look at the 4-year cycle. It's not that difficult to understand that every 4-year cycle has the same. The best moment to buy your Bitcoins, for example, is always around 6 to 8 months before the halving. That's always where the bottom is. And the best moment to sell your Bitcoins is between 16 and 18 months after the halving. So if you want to play it like slowly, you just buy at those moments and sell at those moments and buy back. That doesn't give you a Lamborghini the first cycle, but maybe the second or the third cycle you will have your Lambo. It's all about risk and diversification of your portfolio. There is always the possibility to use a small part of your portfolio for the very risky altcoins that could pump 100 times or 1,000 times, and maybe then you will earn your Lamborghini a little bit earlier. That should only be like 10, 15% of your portfolio. The rest should be stable, growing your capital. And that's, or you play the big cycles if you don't have a lot of time. And if you have time to trade daily, yes, that is another question. Then you could day trade, but then also the best traders learn trading by themselves, uh, make a strategy for themselves, make a trading plan for themselves, and then hold to the trading plan. Don't don't like don't look at all the influencers that tell you to buy now and to sell now and like this and all of that. That is not a trading plan. This is a trading plan. You're buying at this level. You want to sell and take profit at that level. Your stop loss will be at that level. And when the price drops, don't start to move your stop loss because another trader on YouTube says, no, 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 we are going to go up again. You know, like your plan is your plan. Stick to your trading plan. And yes, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the biggest trigger is that you need to make bigger winners than you make losses. So you make small losses because of the risk portfolio, and you make the big winners. And that's how most traders win. Even the best traders out there maybe have a 60% win score. Like 60% of the trades they win. But those trades that they win big time, and the losses will be small because they know what their allocation is, and they know that they want to trade every trade, for example, 1% of their portfolio or 2% of their portfolio. So I think that's very important for people to understand that it's you need to educate yourself, do your own research and practice, even start paper trading just in an Excel sheet. Start to enter the trades that you would have done. And then after 3 months of being successful on Excel, maybe then use one of the links down below to sign up to an exchange and start to trade with real money. And that's my advice.
No, I mean, it's such good advice. And no matter how many times people hear it, it needs to be said over and over again. I even though I talk about this stuff on a daily basis, and I talk about levels, and there's people that tune in to watch and they want to get those levels. To your same point, I regularly say I can share my thoughts on the analysis that I'm seeing, but I cannot be your only point of reference that you're making decisions on trading based on what I'm seeing. I hope I can be potentially one, and then you need to watch several other people and be learning from those sorts of things. Because if you are taking your directions, even if you're looking at 3 different influencers, and that's from those 3 different influencers is informing your decision, then that means you don't have the confidence yet in looking at the price action to make the decision to make the trade, which is probably a good indication you're still in practice mode. And there's nothing wrong with that. Far too many people in this space say, okay, that guy's a runner, I'm going to go buy some running shoes. And then you try to get up and try to race Usain Bolt. It doesn't work that way. You got to go walk on the beach for a couple weeks and learn to walk, and then you got to learn to jog, and then you got to actually train there's a lot, because it's not just learning the strategies, it's the emotions. So Didi, you've been in this space forever, has the emotionality of seeing a green candle and not being in position, or seeing a red candle and not being out of a position, has the emotionality and the fear and the FOMO completely left you because you've been in this so long, or is it something that always sticks with you?
No, it never leaves you completely. You always have a little bit of FOMO, but you start to understand the market more and more. Look, the moment I miss a green candle or a long signal, and I'm too late, I will never FOMO in anymore because the signal is gone. There will always be another train passing, and I will take the next one. Because if there was a long signal, I know one thing for very sure, there will be a short signal next, because if that wouldn't happen, the market would only go up and it would be one huge green candle all the way to the moon, joining Elon Musk there with his satellites or something. So there is always the other scenario is always playing out. If you went long and you were too late, there will be a short. So you start to prepare. Look at the charts. Where is the resistance? Where is the point of return? Where should I open my short? And what kind of short do I open? With what kind of stop loss? And that's where you wait for. Then you go to the beach, you zip your Bacardi Coke, and you know what your trading plan is, your strategy is. And the moment you get near to that level, that is when you go and do that trade. That is how I learned to handle the FOMO. Before, when I saw long and it was like 3 candles after, and it was already like 10% up, I was like, I'm still going to go in. I'm still going to win, like just blindly go in, because you saw the video that was posted 2 days ago from one of the influencers that was really bullish on that day, and that made you bullish 2 days later. That's people don't even look at the date of the views anymore. So it's you will. I learned to handle the emotions, but that's also because I think it started to really feel less emotional when I had set my portfolio completely perfectly for my risk. So I know that 80% of my capital is in cold storage, hardware wallets. I will never trade that 80%. It is just locked up. And that 20% that I'm trading with and taking risk with, I am prepared to lose that. I'm prepared to lose that. I would even be prepared to lose it with a blind bet, like a massive long, because that's 20% of my capital. I can afford to lose that. The 80%, it's still there. But yeah, that's not the best financial advice, by the way, is to go all in with 20K on one asset. But yeah, the longer you're in the cycle, this is now the third cycle for me. So 2013, 14, first crash, 2017, second huge crash, now the third huge crash. You say, and people, and it depends on what time frame you look at. For me, I'm referring to that as crashes because that's 70% plus, and I do the big trade as well. But if you look at 2017 bull run, we had six huge massive runs with each a bigger crash than 30%. This is a very volatile market. Be prepared to have an emotional roller coaster ride. If it's your first bull market, welcome, and I wish you a lot of good luck and a lot of fun. And make sure you have a bottle of Bacardi to drink away the losses now and then.
Oh, you know what? And I mean, so many good points there. Especially right now, where we're pre-halving. There's all this news that's bubbling up surrounding the entire. Encompassing the entire digital asset ecosystem. A big part of that also is this, we have to admit, it's still a hope for a spot ETF. BlackRock getting involved, the Grayscale win over the SEC, earlier this week. And so there's all this, not even hopium, it's just like pumped up sentiment that's not well founded yet in fundamentals because there's no fundamental change yet. It's still all just a potential on the horizon. Now, is that potential getting higher and higher as these things are developing? Yes, but there's no follow through yet, which is why, I was talking about it earlier this week, which is why we saw that massive pump up to $31,800 after the BlackRock spot ETF application submittal, but it couldn't break through that $32,000 barrier. So the sentiment got it there, but the fundamentals weren't there to carry it through. Then we fell back. And then we get a secondary pump earlier this week as well with Grayscale. Wins against the SEC, but is it for a spot ETF? No, it's for, their denial needs to be reviewed. So the sentiment pumped it, and now we saw a drawback this week. So, and similarly with XRP, massive pump. You know how many people, when the SEC lost on the XRP case, massive pump on the XRP price from somewhere in the high 40s up to nearly just short of $1, And there's a wick, of course, that goes up there, which, as you know, for price to go to any level, there has to be a parity of buyers and sellers. So somebody bought the top of that wick because they didn't want to miss the move. And where are we at now? The price actually came below where it was before the XRP pump. So it's such good points you made there. I just want to reemphasize that patience is patience and just relaxing and not trying to work the market. Try to work strategy because the price will always revisit and give you another opportunity, even if it's higher, and maybe a stronger confirmation for that move.
Yeah, people just need to really understand that the news is not moving the price. It's the people's psychology that is moving the price. So because they read news, the people buy because they are feeling euphoric or they are feeling depressive, they are selling. So it's always the people that buy, but it's not like that because BlackRock brings out the ETF that the price will start to move. And I have a completely different opinion about BlackRock, to be very honest, but I don't think you want to discuss that one here on the channel. But
dude, I'm down. Let's get that inner mind deep alpha. It's good. You know why? Because we were talking earlier, and you're welcome not to share it if you don't want to, if you feel like it's maybe too controversial. But one of the things I think happens far too regularly across the crypto media ecosystem is people follow so many points that are parroted in similarity between different, and it's good to have a different view, so that even if you disagree with it, it's at least on your horizon to, if you start seeing other points that may support that point, maybe it comes better into focus and people can be prepared. So if you're willing to share it, I'd be happy to hear it.
I'm willing to share it always. I'm sharing it every day on my YouTube videos, guys. For me, Bitcoin is a peaceful revolution. For me, Bitcoin and blockchains are tool tools that are given to us to create a state of peaceful anarchy where people really get to decide about themselves and proposals and voting, decentralized all over the world, and making a new financial system that is accessible for everyone out there. Now, if people understand that that is the fundamental for me for Bitcoin, then they must also understand that BlackRock is exactly the opposite. It is BlackRock that forced you guys in the last couple of years, because you have a huge influence in the media, in the mass media, to have a lockdown, to have a vaccination, to wear a face mask. This is also where BlackRock is behind. So BlackRock was also one of the biggest investors when it came, to the whole gold shift and all that stuff. Bitcoin should be is made by the people for the people. The moment that the Bitcoin community and even the OGs start to become happy because this giant BlackRock is entering the space, then that moment I understand that still life is mainly about greed. Because yes, BlackRock entering the space could pump my bag, could make Bitcoin go sky high. But on the other hand, it's taking away something that we created as people to create freedom for all of us, and taking it in the hands of that 1% of rich people again that don't give a fuck about the freedom or about the necessity of a monetary system of poor people all over the world. The peer-to-peer cash transfer that Bitcoin should have been. So people seem not to understand, because they are very short-sighted, that the moment BlackRock has 15% already from the top 5 biggest Bitcoin miners in stakes. So 15% of the biggest miners is already from BlackRock. BlackRock has a huge stake also in Blockstream, which is the biggest blockchain maintainer of Bitcoin and the green wallet. Now they have a spot ETF. So they have their plan. Their plan is to take over Bitcoin from the normal people and create a 21st century gold of that. And we all know what happened with gold in the past. It was from the people, it was from us. Then we were afraid that we would lose the gold, so we would put it on the banks as a custodial service, and then the banks took it all from us and they gave it to the governments. And who of the normal people nowadays still has gold? I think only India has a massive rate of people that still has gold in jewelry at home, but the rest of the world, yeah, nobody has a brick of gold anymore at home. And that's not possible because they took it away from us. They took our way to transact in a freedom way from us. Now we create this beautiful new digital peer-to-peer cash that we can use to transact all over the world. And we are giving that away again to the institutional investors, to BlackRock. If this spot ETF will happen, they will start to buy a shitload of Bitcoins. That will mean a lot of people can't buy Bitcoin anymore. They will also start to manipulate the market, in my honest opinion, because they have a stake in every asset of Bitcoin, mining, maintaining, and also then, of course, the spot ETF. Now, the problem with this is that at the moment we can still be happy because we know that the miners still are producing 900 bitcoins per day, and the exchanges, the centralized exchanges, because of all the fees, are producing also like 1500 bitcoins a day. So that is what they can put into the market or withhold out the market, so that if there is no bitcoins in the market, that we get price advancements up. But people also need to understand that because of the halving next year, there will only be 450 bitcoins per day. And after that next halving, the miners will only have 225 bitcoins per day. And because all the centralized exchanges, all the people are taking the bitcoins from there and the Ethereum from there, because they are trading now on decentralized exchanges, there will also be less fees created by these exchanges to bring new bitcoins to the market, which means at the end that the institutional investors will have way more bitcoins than the miners and the exchanges are producing. And that will be a huge shift, because who is manipulating the market then? Now the exchanges can still hold the 900 bitcoins, don't sell them to the market till the top of the bull market, then dump them. But then they won't be able anymore, because the institutional investments like BlackRock and all the other ones, State Street, Vanguard, they will hold all your bitcoins, and they are not going to sell them to you guys, because your off and on ramps will be killed. You won't be able to buy with Binance in the Netherlands or in the United States or with any other exchange. You will only be able to buy it with your bank account in one of these investment funds, and you will only be able to sell and buy and not transact with it anymore. And that is how they grab back the power now, I think, in Bitcoin. And so that's, as a Bitcoin revolutionist, I'm not happy with what is happening. As a big Bitcoin OG hodler, yes, it will pump my bags. But I'm also preparing to exit my uh, bags at the top of this bull run, because I'm really getting um, I'm really getting sad sometimes that I see so many huge Bitcoins OGs that are supporting this big move and thinking this is positive. I don't think it is positive. That's my view on it.
No, I appreciate that. What I really enjoy about that is it's a concept. It's actually a multitude of concepts that I think a lot of people that are just their why in this market is I want to make money, and that's okay if you know it.
Yep.
But even if that's your only why, then there's still a variety of different things people need to pay attention to, and that's some things on the macro horizon, right? And macro doesn't just mean large time frame. Macro could also mean broader markets. What's going on with the dollar index? What's going on with monetary policy? And you don't need to be an expert on all these things, but you still need to have your finger on the pulse or be checking in with somebody that, or some buddies, a few people that you trust their perspective on to give you a bit of view outside of the coin you're looking at. But then in addition to that, you know, considering BlackRock and the ETFs, there's a couple different things there. There's two different time horizons primarily that you just highlighted, and that's the sort of midterm. And people think between now and the next bull market top is a macro look. That's not macro. That's a midterm look. That's right. And so, but you're talking about the macro being that, okay, yes, I'm still going to be involved with Bitcoin right now, participating in this probably on the midterm time frame on the why of money. Incredible BlackRock's coming in. But if you have a macro perspective on this market in the long run, I do agree with you. It's going to be, the time is starting to evaporate for really being able to take a substantial and important position in Bitcoin, even if it's $1,000, whatever is the ratio to anybody watching, your own individual sort of risk tolerance and exposure that you can, direct and allocate capital towards. But as institutions come in, as you said, they start becoming controlling shares of the market, and they can move the market to the whims of their needs. And in addition to that, it starts cutting out the ability for the retail, for the individual, for the sovereignty, the financial sovereignty that you, Didi, myself, all the different, not all, but a large number of people, the crypto influencers out there, really try to highlight here. And so BlackRock, while excellent for probably a bit of a potential super cycle in this next bull market run, I think after that, it's going to be a controlled market once they get their claws in. And I'm so happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah, it's you know what it is. We in the core, human beings are greedy, and sometimes I'm greedy as well. And it's not always bad. But if we would have been a little bit more patient, look, the reason that BlackRock is going to pump the market is because they will put in a shitload of money into the market, which will pump the price. But we don't need BlackRock for this. We don't need any institutional for this. We just need people that empty their bank accounts and put that collectively, like 7 billion people collectively, only 4 billion have a bank account, by the way, collectively withdraw the bank account and put it in this new monetary system. We will pump the price. Bitcoin is made by us, for us. We can pump it by just withdrawing the cash from that old traditional stealing taxation system, creating inflation, take the money out and put it in as people. We don't need institutions for this. And that's what I mean. Bitcoin and blockchain are the tools for peaceful anarchy, where we get to decide again what we want, how to live, what to speak, what to eat, what to do. And I think that's now becoming less important. And I agree. A lot of people are afraid and they want to make a shitload of money as soon as possible because they want to become financially independent, not depending on a universal basic income, living in a 15-minute city. But guys, you're betting on the wrong horse. BlackRock is the one that is financing 15-minute cities, wanting 15-minute cities, making money off 15-minute cities, and want you all to be vaccinated and all that stuff. So for me, as a freedom guy, a father of $3, I want to give a peaceful, beautiful, freedom future, I can't be cheering on that. But on the other hand, I am cheering because Bitcoin is an open protocol That can always be hard fork. And if they take the control on Bitcoin, we will first make a shitload of money because of them taking control, and then we will hard out of it into a beautiful new coin. Maybe even use Bitcoin Cash or whatever Bitcoin there is to do the peer-to-peer transactions when they want to force us to use, central banks' digital currencies. So sorry taking too long again, but thank you for me being able to share it on your beautiful BitLab.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I appreciate all your viewpoints. Before we wrap this up, I got two more questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up because it is a beautiful Saturday wherever any of you are watching. And I just want to shout out one more time right over here. You can find more about Didi right here at thebitcoinfamily.com. And he's got all kind of different stuff that he does here, a lot more links. He's also got a YouTube. You can also check him out here at DIDITAIHUTTU for Didi Taihuttu. And I always like to point these out in people's socials when we do interviews because there's so many different fake profiles out there. So make sure you're doing the right spelling. So coming back over to you, Didi. Again, thank you for being here. Go ahead.
There is one more thing I want to tell the guys, because I know that the question in your heads now is, but should we buy? Should we buy? Guys, to be very, very, very clear, if I would have a house, a car, a pension fund, and everything else that I had 7 years ago, I would fucking sell everything and go all in now, because we are at the bottom of the bear market cycle. We just left that one. We are going to go in a massive bull run again after 2024 halving. So yes, if you ask that, this is the perfect moment to start accumulating Bitcoin, guys.
So if they question there though, and this is not financial advice. This is strategy and based on what we know about the markets. But question there, if you say sell everything you got and buy now, does that mean to buy and sell and try to accumulate as much as possible through trading before that? Or are you leaning into buy now and regardless of if it drops lower, you buy again because you can lower your average entry? What's your thoughts there? Should people be trading right now to expand their capital, or should they just be trying to find other capital flow to get into the market for more position?
I think it's very simple. The best moment to trade or to learn trading or to even trade against institutional traders is the bull market, because in the bull market, you always think, oh shit, I'm a very good trader, because trading becomes really easy when the market just stops pumping and pumping and pumping, and you use low leverage trades, so you will never be stopped out. There will be no liquidations because we are in the bull market, and the best thing and advice there is the trend is your friend. If we are in the bull market, it's beautiful to long the market. Don't try to do the shorts in the beginning if you start a trader, So for me, yes, now is a good moment to start to buy Bitcoin and start to trade the Bitcoin market, because it's a bull market. It's the most easy one. But if you don't have the time, please just don't do it. You will lose 90, 90, 90 is the trader rule. 90% of the people will lose 90% of the capital in 90 days. Google that. That's like almost for all noobs. 90% of the people will lose 90% in 90 days because they don't know what they're doing. So if you don't have the time to trade, just buy Bitcoins, beautifully ride this beautiful bull run where you will feel euphoric. And then when you feel that very euphoric stage, and when people will tell you we will go to 400K and 500K and we not even reach 100K, that's the moment you start to sell. And that's mostly 16 to 18 months after the halving. So my bet is July till October 2025, you will see the top.
That's such great advice. And now before we go, Bitcoin, I'm absolutely certain, without a shadow of a doubt, that Bitcoin is in your portfolio. Are you an ETH person? This is the first question. And the second part of that is, are there two projects that you think are worth, I won't say they're absolute buys for people to put in their portfolio, but are there two projects outside of Bitcoin and ETH that you have an absolute hawkeye on that you're really hopeful for in this next bull run? And then are there two that you think people should absolutely stay away from?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have Bitcoins. I have also a shitload of Ethereum, because I think that it's also contributing to decentralizing the world in some kind of way. Aside of Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think Near protocol is going to do massive in this next bull run, to be very honest. I think the second one I would bet on, oh man, I have more than 30 altcoins, but I need to choose one. I think I would choose DOT again. I think DOT is going to outperform a lot of tokens as well. And if there is one that I would never buy, but that's not financial advice, that's more that's my norms and value. I would never buy Ripple. because that's like just not a cryptocurrency to me. It's too centralized. They handpick their nodes. It's more like something beautiful for banks to replace the the Swift transactions, but that's for me not a cryptocurrency. So, but if you want to make money, maybe you can make some money over there. But it didn't even make an all-time high in a previous bull run. So let's see how that will perform. So for me, Bitcoin, Ethereum are safe bets, and I think. Yeah, like I said, those two other altcoins are beautiful. But I have a list of 30 altcoins, that I already bought during the bear market bottom.
But
I
I
don't
mean,
trade them; I just buy them.
I was gonna say, as soon as I asked a question about two that you say don't look at, in my mind as I was thinking that, I was like, Kelly, Didi and I both, you and I both are probably like, there's probably about 26,000 that I wouldn't buy out of that long list. But yeah, but I appreciate you being on here so much. Didi, is there any other spots people can find you from the Twitter, your Twitter and your YouTube and your website, anything you got going on, any last thoughts you'd like to share with the BitLab and the Bit Squad audience before you go?
No, not really. I'm really thankful that I was here again, Kelly. I just want, if people want to follow me in that my own name, my website, diditaihuttu.com/Didi, you get like all the links to all my websites, to all my socials. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I'm active on Nostr, even on the newest one, Republic. I'm testing everything out because I just love to be part of this community. I just want to wish everyone an amazing weekend this beautiful Saturday. I just want to wish them an amazing bull run. If I don't speak to you anymore during this bull run, enjoy it to the fullest, And for me, the biggest advice always is like, if it comes to Bitcoin, you need to always zoom out from the Bitcoin charts, look at the bigger picture, and try to zoom in at life. Try to enjoy every single minute of the day instead of freaking out of every single minute chart candle on your chart, guys. I think that's the best advice I can give. And again, very thankful to be here again and to share my knowledge and listen to you guys.
Well, Didi, I appreciate you so much being here, and everybody out there in the Bit Squad, everybody in the BitLab community, definitely go give this man a follow. Listen to him, check him out. He puts out content on a daily basis. Some of it's absolute alpha, some of it's absolutely entertaining, and all of it is worth it. So definitely check him out. Again, Didi, thank you for being here. Everybody, make sure you head over to BitLab Academy page as well if you haven't yet. Give us a follow here. Check out all the stuff that we've got in bitlabacademy.com with all the various courses and content to make sure that you can not only utilize ours, utilize Didi, utilize Jordan Lindsay, utilize anybody that you can find to sharpen your sword and form your own strategy. Again, we still have the discount going on right now with Give Me 30 over at BitLab Academy. Use that coupon code to get 30% off. And thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. And again, Didi, thank you for being here. Hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Adios, muchachos.